Okay. Let's wait a little bit till everybody's here.
So, Isabel, how many are we expecting today?
All right. We are expecting 25 from computing studies. We have also 10 from forestry students, 10 of them, 10, and there are, I don't know, marketing and business, but I expect another 10 from those for marketing and business as well. So 20, 30, 40 people, more or less. Ok, los demás, ¿quién nos hace? Ángel, por favor, pon la cámara. Vale, hola Ángel, hello.
Hola, ¿sabes?
Okay.
Hello, teacher.
Hello. Edgar, sigue sin conectar la cámara.
Dios.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, Sergio.
Yes. Yeah, my name is Sergio.
Okay, Sergio, very good. Say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Yes.
Sergio is a forestry student. He is this year, and Claudio is also here. Where are you, Claudio? We can't hear you. We can't see you. Claudio, pon la cámara, queremos verte. Edgar, no te va la cámara. Vale, igual que a Roberto. Vale, ok. Right. So there are many people missing. So we cannot start until everybody's here. Okay, some of them are asking me how to connect. Okay. 1 second. María, tienes que darle al link que he puesto en el WhatsApp, en el grupo de WhatsApp. Este último link que tienes aquí, por favor, dale ahí. Okay, just remind you that after they are going to speak for half an hour, 40 minutes, and then you will have to take notes of this. And afterwards, you will have to write an essay about 100 or 150 words, summarizing what Chris and Carol are going to say. Okay, and at the end of their speech, you are going to ask one question per each.
Hello.
Questions. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Alejandro is here. Hello, Alejandro.
Hey.
Who else? Enrique is here. Ekaterina, is Ekaterina here? Mary Jo? Okay, no. Víctor, por favor, ¿puedes hacerme un favor? Decirle a los compañeros que por favor empiecen a entrar ya.
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. Okay, okay. ¿De Forestal quién estáis? ¿Borja? ¿Está
Yo.
Borja?
Sí, estoy aquí, teacher.
No te veo. Hola María, ¿qué tal? Borja, ¿dónde estás?
Aquí, en mi casa. Hello.
¡Hala, Borja! Mira que te he dicho que te pongas guapo.
Me he vestido, teacher. ¿Hace falta que me ponga otra cosa?
¿No te miras ficha, Borja?
Va muy guapo, Borja.
No, no tengo pelo.
Okay, vale. Please, we have to wait a little bit. They are entering. There are lots of people to come in, so we have to wait just a couple of minutes, okay?
No problem.
Thank you for your patience. Okay, Juan de is coming. Carla is coming as well.
El delegado, nos falta el delegado, teacher.
Nos falta el delegado. ¿Quién es el delegado?
Juan de.
Ah, ya, Juan de va a entrar ya enseguida, en 0,
El vulva, falta el vulva.
Vamos a decir mejor los nombres en vez de los apodos.
¿Me vais a cantar el cumpleaños, teacher, o algo? ¿O qué?
Eso, hay que cantarle a este hombre o algo.
Claro, yo que me he venido todo ilusionado. Quería escuchar un cumpleaños en inglés.
Claudio's birthday. How about we sing him happy birthday together? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
dear Claudio.
Happy birthday
to you.
Hombre,
Nice.
ya puedo dormir feliz hoy.
Felicidades, pelirrojo.
He's 20 today.
How old?
20. 20 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, very old. Juan está aquí también. Okay, we are 19 right now. So, Victor, who is missing?
I sent a message, but I don't know why he don't in. No sé por qué ellos no entran al grupo.
Okay. Insist, please. Tell them that I'm going to fail them if they don't come in. Anna is here. Hello, Anna. Hello, Isma. Welcome.
Hello there.
Nice to see you again.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Anna.
Teacher,
Anna,
good afternoon.
yes. Good afternoon. Teacher and the rest.
Yeah.
Teacher and the rest.
Hola.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Carla.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
¿Se la escucha?
Sí.
Yes, yes, yes.
Ah.
That's
Hello.
Hello, Ismael. How are you?
I'm fine.
Fine. Okay.
Buenas, Forest.
Okay, now we are 21. And this is it is a time to start. So if any maybe some of them will join us later, I don't know. And you know, I'm recording this video call. It is important for you to know. And Chris and Carol are going to talk about their trip to Asia right now. So please put your micros off, because then we will be able to listen to them better. Hello, Katerina. And at the end of the speech, you will have to ask one question that they will very kindly answering as much as possible. Okay? Is everybody okay? Hands up.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
I'm recording it by myself, but anyway, you can do it by yourself, just in case mine fails, ¿ok? Entonces, lo podéis grabar vosotros si queréis también para luego poder hacer el writing. En el caso, yo lo estoy grabando también, pero en el caso de que falle, siempre alguien más lo puede grabar, ¿ok? So, now we are starting, Chris. Rogerson, it's your turn. Thank you very much. You are very welcome. You and Carol, you're very welcome to our chat. It's a pleasure having you here, an honor, and we would like to listen to you.
Okay, first of all, can you hear me? Okay. Silent.
Can you hear them? ¿Los escucháis, chicos?
Yes.
Yes. Escucharte te escuchamos, pero entenderte no te
Sí,
entendemos.
pero te iba a decir mal.
Okay. Please, Chris, speak slowly, because some of them, you know, don't understand that too much. So, come on, you can do it. Come on, start.
Okay. So here we go. 2 years ago, my wife and I decided to stop working, to retire, and to travel for 5 years to 5 different locations. The first trip that we decided to do was to Southeast Asia, and when we started to organize the trip, I suggested that we do it for as long as it would take to complete the whole area. But my wife said, no, 8 weeks is enough because I will miss my family and I will miss my friends. Then when we started to make the plans, we realized that we would not be able to see all of the countries we wanted to visit. So we then decided to travel for 100 days, exactly 100 days, because that was the maximum that we could get insurance for, because we're old people. So we decided to travel to Thailand, to Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia, and to see as much of those 4 countries as we possibly could. When you travel to Thailand, or when the majority of people travel to Thailand, young people like yourselves always seem to go south to where the sunshine and the beaches and the parties are. We decided to go north to follow the cultural route. So we started by flying into Bangkok and spent 4 days in Bangkok. Bangkok is a very, very
Hello.
you will never have experienced before in your life, unless, of course, you have been to Bangkok already. It's
Hello.
system.
So sorry, I didn't receive the notifications.
There are thousands and thousands of people on the street. It's the busiest place you will ever see in your life. We spent 4 nights in Bangkok. We managed to visit all of the cultural centers and also some of the other areas that Bangkok is infamous for. After that, our second journey took us to a place called Kanchanaburi, which is to the northwest of Bangkok. And there was the site in the Second World War where a lot of British, Australian, and other Allied troops were imprisoned by the Japanese and forced to build a railway and a bridge. And the story was made famous by a film made in the 1950s called Bridge Over the River Kwai. So we spent 2 nights in Kanchanaburi, and then from there we traveled north to historical sites, to ancient capitals of Thailand. One town was called Ayutthaya and the other Sukhothai. And in both places, the ancient cities are all ruined, but very, very attractive. But it was very, very hot. We have lived in Spain for 2 years, and we have never experienced heat in Spain like we experienced in Thailand. Incredibly hot. From Ayutthaya, we traveled on to a place called Chiang Mai in the north, had a very long train journey. But the interesting thing, or the reason we went to Chiang Mai, was to spend some time with elephants. Elephants are probably the most beautiful animals in the world, and we spent a day in an elephant reserve where the elephants are free to roam around the fields. They're not kept in enclosures, and we spent time feeding the elephants. We spent time bathing with the elephants in mud, and we also spent time washing ourselves and the elephants afterwards. Very, very, a fantastic experience. Absolutely fantastic experience. Probably one of the best experiences of our lives. From there, we then headed to Laos. Now, Laos is a very, very interesting country because it's very much shut off from the outside world. It's a very, very poor country, very small population, but it also suffers a lot because during the Vietnam War, the country was very heavily bombed by the Americans. And when the Americans were trying to defeat the Vietnamese, who were traveling through Laos to wage war in the south. So a lot of the country is still affected by unexploded bombs. And one of the places we visited in our first stop was, or the first main city, was a museum that looked at the impact that this had on their country. We traveled from the border with Thailand to a city by the name of Luang Prabang, which is a beautiful city, by riverboat. And we were on the river for 2 days. It's called the slow boat, and it travels very, very slowly down the Mekong River. And we had one overnight stay in a town called Pak Beng, which was very, very small, very little to talk about in Pak Beng. And we spent 4 nights in Luang Prabang and tried to enjoy the life that people have in that city. We decided when we're in Thailand that it's impossible to visit every temple, to visit every historical site. So we decided that the best thing to do would be to try and get an appreciation of the way people live. And so we'd spend our time wandering through back streets, through rundown streets, just to see how people live, to go into cafes and enjoy the life that they live, rather than just be pure tourists in expensive restaurants. We ate in very simple restaurants. The food was very interesting. Carol doesn't like rice and she doesn't like noodles. And things that you have to eat in all of these countries are rice and noodles. So we had to try and get her to enjoy the food as we went. We then moved further south through Laos, eventually ending up in the capital city of Vientiane, which is quite boring. And thankfully, we were only there for 2 nights. The best place we visited in Laos is a town called Vang Vieng. Vang Vieng, 20 years ago, was party central. This is where all the young people went and did crazy things. Unfortunately, a lot of people died as a result of those crazy things, or lots of drugs, lots of drunkenness, and lots of misbehavior. And it's not a very good mix, alcohol and jumping into shallow rivers, and a lot of people died in various ways.
Chris, stop. Chris, we cannot hear you.
Your favorite soccer team? Play football?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now, yes.
What was
Your favorite?
Go on, please. The right, please.
Isabel, what was the last thing you heard?
No. We missed only the last 2 last lines. So
Hello.
sorry. Hello. We missed just the last thing, so you can start from that. Don't worry.
Okay. The last thing, I don't know whether you heard me speaking about Vang Vieng. Can somebody nod if they heard me mention Vang Vieng?
Yeah, we said that. Yes, we heard that. Yeah.
Isabel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, you can go on from there.
Okay, so so that Vang Vieng is probably one of the most enjoyable places to visit now, because the activities are now concentrating on walking and appreciating the ecology of the area, rather than just everybody drinking all of the time. The next thing we did is we flew from Vientiane to Hanoi, which is in northern Vietnam, and that was a complete change in the way that we've been living. Hanoi is a very, very busy city, very crazy city. The hotels that we booked in Hanoi were in the old town, and I had imagined that it would be very, very beautiful, but it's the opposite. Everything is very noisy, very dirty. All of the bars are playing loud music underneath your bedroom, but it's all part of life when we're out there. We spent 4 nights in Hanoi, then moved on to a place called Sapa, and Sapa is in the mountains, very, very famous for mountain walking, and it's an exciting place to be. Interesting because by this time the virus had started to affect the way that people's attitudes were changing towards tourists. And so the majority of the Chinese tourists had stopped visiting the country, so there weren't many tourists there. And as we moved south through Vietnam, the Vietnamese people became a little bit unfriendly towards us, because the virus had moved from Southeast Asia into Europe, and tourists were then bringing the virus back into Vietnam, so people were acting very strangely around us. We would walk into a restaurant and people would move to the other side of the room, or people would put masks on their faces, or they'd move the children out of the way. And on 2 occasions, we found that our hotels had been cancelled because we were European. One of the places we visited was in a city called Kon Tum, which I'd always wanted to visit. When I was a child, my mother used to receive letters from the bishop in Kon Tum asking for money, because he ran an orphanage during the Vietnam War. So I used to send my pocket money every month, and in return, I got to keep the stamps. And I had a fantastic stamp collection from Vietnam in the 1970s. Very, very interesting, I'm sure. But in Kon Tum, we found that people were quite hostile, very unfriendly. Our hotel was cancelled there. And so we decided then to leave Vietnam as quickly as we could and then fly to, where did we go? Oh, yes, we were due to go to, from there we were due to go to Cambodia, which was the place we wanted to see the most, because in Cambodia you have the biggest temple site in the world in Angkor Wat, some of the best beaches in the world, and again, a place which has suffered greatly, and we wanted to see how the country was regenerating itself. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get into Cambodia because by this time, everybody was wearing masks. Everybody was opposed to the Vietnamese, to the Europeans, so we had to get out pretty quickly. So we had to make a decision to return. So we flew back to the UK. We flew to Thailand first of all, spent 3 very calm days in Thailand. Thailand is probably the most beautiful place you could ever visit, not just for what you see, but because the people, the Thai people are absolutely fantastic. They're all constantly smiling, very, very friendly. And we'd had a difficult week in Vietnam, and the Thai people made us feel so calm that we quickly forgot about how difficult things had been. We've been to many places in Vietnam. We've been to Hue, which is one of the old capital cities, and we both rode around on motorcycles for the first time in our lives. We've been to Da Nang, which is where the Americans had a big military base during the Vietnamese War, but that's now a holiday resort. And but we only got to Ho Chi Minh City Airport. We didn't get into Ho Chi Minh City itself because we had to leave. We eventually flew out of a small place called Pleiku, which is in the middle of nowhere, and nothing to speak of really. So from there, we had to cut short our holiday by 6 weeks because of COVID-19. We flew back to the UK and realized that we couldn't get back to Spain either. So we've now been living in the UK since we returned 4 or 5 weeks ago, and we still can't get back to Spain. And all of our possessions are in our apartment in La Marina, including my guitars, my clothes, my laptop. I had to buy a new laptop, had to buy a new speaker, had to buy a new guitar. All of these things are affecting our lives, but we're having to now live with our daughter and her two little children. And it's very interesting, very, very interesting. So that's the story of our holiday. I don't know whether you actually read the blog that we published. I think Isabel did say that one or two you may have looked at the blog.
Yeah, I have your link. Yeah, I have your link, and some of the students have your link. Anyway, I'll pass it to the rest if you don't mind, so that they can see the pictures and everything.
Well, the blog explains what we did. It's very difficult just to sit here in front of a screen and try and give you an idea of the atmosphere of what we did and how exciting it was. And it was exciting because we are both 63 years old now. We should have done this 40 years ago. So the blog is called Life in Reverse. We are living our lives in reverse now. When I was 18, I should have learned the guitar. I learned the guitar when I was 60. So we're going to do everything, all the crazy things that you guys are doing now, we're going to start doing. And inside you feel the same, it's just you look stupid when you do it at our age, but never mind.
Never's late, never's late, and never's too late. That
So
is
the
awesome and
difficulty
fantastic that you decided to do that and
is
enjoy
affecting
it.
differently. But what I would encourage you to do as young people, as soon as all of the restrictions are lifted, you should travel. I mean, to me, you live in the most beautiful country in Europe. Spain is the most fantastic.
Thank you so much.
People, the food, the countryside, the history is absolutely phenomenal. And I think living in a country as beautiful as this, you should really experience your own country. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then after that, come to the UK, but bring an umbrella. It was always raining here. Well, our plans have changed a lot. We don't know what's happening now for the next few months, but we still have 4 years of travel. So we want to go to Australia, we want to go to New Zealand, we want to go to Peru, and also I want to go to the South Pacific, Tahiti, and places like that. But my wife would like a bit of luxury because we spent a long time in very poor areas and eating in restaurants that you would not normally eat in, the ones that you would usually walk past. So she wants a bit of luxury in our next holiday. So we have to see. Maybe we come back to Spain and enjoy it.
And
So that's
fantastic plans.
I'm sorry if I've spoken too quickly. I'm sorry if I didn't make it sound as exciting as it was. It was exciting. You just can't put it across. Some of the things you see, you will just not believe. We saw a rat.
Really?
We thought there was a dog running across the road, and it was a rat. Things like to me, that we found in Van Dieng, there is an old airstrip, which is where the Americans, the CIA, flew secret missions out of this airstrip to supply the rebels in northern Vietnam. Fantastic history, you know. It sounds morbid because it's talking about war, but it's just, to me, it's the history. You're standing where history was made, and that's what gets me excited. That's what gets me excited about Spain. You know, I see the windmills in La Mancha, and perhaps as Spanish people, you think, oh, that's just a windmill. To me, that's Don Quixote and Sancho Panza. You know, I love this sort. But anyway, enough of me.
I've got a question, and our students have prepared one question per each. Okay. So, but my question is, would you advise them that they are young, because you are doing all these fantastic experiences in reverse? So, would you advise them to do this right now while they are in their 20s?
I think yes, I would, and the reason I would advise it now is because as young people, you would perhaps be able to enjoy things at a different level. When you're my age, you know, it's important that you have a very, very comfortable bed and a very, very clean bathroom, and that you're not sharing a room with other people. But when you're young and you're with friends, that doesn't matter. Those things don't matter anymore. You know, you don't mind traveling deeply and with a little bit of discomfort. Whereas to old people, I like a soft seat. I like to be able to put my feet up. But the experience is fantastic. You know, 2 days floating down the river, listening to my fantastic taste in music, which you will all dislike, all hate. But listening to things is fantastic, you know. Do it now. Do it now.
Okay, so shall we start with the students' questions right now? Chicos, voy a ir por orden de los que me vais apareciendo aquí, ¿vale? El primero es Alejandro. Alejandro, would you like to ask a question to Chris and Carol?
You like the food?
Which food, Alejandro? Where? From where? They visited lots of countries. Which country?
Yes, the food was interesting. I enjoyed all of the food. in Thailand and Laos, but Vietnamese cuisine is not as exciting as it is in Thailand. It's not as rich as Thailand. It was difficult for Carol because Carol doesn't like anything other than British food or Spanish salad. But yeah, good food, very, very good food, especially the Thai green curry.
Okay, next question, Anna, please. Your question.
Can you listen to me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. If you have to choose just one of those places to visit, what would you choose?
I would choose Laos. The beauty of Laos is that it's underdeveloped. The countryside is spoiled. The people are.
Okay. Thank you. So
Thank
next
you.
question. Ángel Cañizares.
Joder, el micro.
Ángel, say hello and ask your
Yes,
question.
Chris, did you eat insects?
No. It's very interesting. In Bangkok, in the tourist area of Bangkok, a place called Khao San Road, there were ladies who were selling scorpions and something else, which I couldn't decide what it was. They were selling those to the tourists, to the young tourists. And also there was a rotisserie with a crocodile on it. But we didn't try that either.
Okay. Okay, you say thank you, Ángel. Ángel, did thank you. Okay, Antonio Torres, have you got a question? Antonio Torres? Antonio? Antonio?
Hello, Ahora.
Ahora.
Good afternoon, Chris. Do you plan to travel to Vietnam again when this is over?
When this is over, we will definitely go to Cambodia. Of the places that we visited, we didn't enjoy Vietnam so much. Maybe we got the wrong impression because the tourism, because the Chinese tourists weren't there, all of the people involved with the tourist industry were very unhappy, and we weren't made to feel welcome. But we definitely go back to Cambodia. Particularly, there's one place I want to go to. We were meant to stay there for 6 days, and we were very disappointed we couldn't go, but we will go back. We'll go there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, next question, Arturo Martinez. Arturo Martinez.
Hi. Can you listen to me?
Yes, hi, Arturo.
Hi. What's the most exciting or beautiful place you have visited?
Chris,
Chris, we cannot hear you. Chris. No. Vale, voy a escribirle en el chat que no le oímos.
Hello.
Okay, right now. Yes.
Yes.
We didn't listen to your answer.
No, sorry. For some reason, the microphone keeps switching off.
Okay.
It's a second-hand computer. Yeah, the most spectacular place we visited was the top of the highest mountain in Vietnam, and I can't remember its name. And we went up by cable car, by gondola to the top, and it was absolutely stunning. So if you look at the blog, there are photographs from the top of the mountain. Beautiful place. But they're all beautiful places.
Okay, thank you. Let's continue because there are many people. Let's see Borja right now. Borja, can you ask your question, please?
¿Se me oye?
Yes.
Hello. Did
Hi.
you visit a Buddhist temple?
We did. We visited several Buddhist temples. We visited Wat Pho, which is the main temple in Bangkok.
Oh.
And we also visited a very small temple in Ayutthaya, where we were blessed by a monk and given bracelets to wear. Yeah, very interesting, very, very, very beautiful places. Very beautiful places.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, my friend.
Welcome.
Okay, now it's Carla's time. Carla's turn. Carla, please. Carla? Carla, are you here?
¿Me oyes?
Yes. You can ask your question.
A ver, ¿ahora? No sé
Yes.
si se me va
Yes,
bien.
yes.
Ahora.
Yes, yes.
Okay, hello, Grace.
Hello.
Is this the longest trip you have ever made?
Yes. This is the longest trip we've ever made.
Yes, yes.
Yes. 23 years ago, we went to India, and we went for 3 weeks. Almost a month. But this is the longest trip we've ever made, and I would recommend it to anyone. When you can travel for as long as you possibly can, because you soon forget about all of your worries.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Carla. Now it's Carlos' turn. Come on, Carlos. Carlos, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay, Carlos, you can ask your question.
What country want you visit?
Which country did we want to... Sorry, Carlos, can you repeat your question, please?
Yes. What country do you want to visit?
Oh, we want to go back. We want to go back to Cambodia. We'd like to go back to Cambodia. We didn't actually get to visit that one. And I love Canada, so I'd like to see a lot more of Canada.
Okay. Carlos, a Cambodia y a Canadá. Okay. Say thank you. And let's continue with Claudio, your turn.
Hi.
Birthday. Your birthday.
Hello.
Today. It's your birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Yes, birthday. Ooh, paint the town red. Ooh.
Come on, Claudio, ask your question. Claudio, haz tu pregunta.
¿Me escuchas?
Sí, te escuchamos perfecto. Haz tu pregunta.
Can you use any funny anecdote?
Anecdote. Any funny anecdote?
Yeah, I fell in the elephant here. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean that word.
We laughed a lot of the time, but one of the funny things is when we spent time with the elephants, we bathed with the elephants in a pool of mud, and my wife Carol tripped. The baby elephant lay down under the mud and tripped Carol up with his trunk, and she fell into the mud and was covered in mud. The other funny thing was we wanted to buy some shampoo to wash our hair, So we went into a shop that we didn't understand what kind of shop it was. All of the bottles of shampoo had a different dog on the bottle. And then we suddenly realized it was a pet shop and not a supermarket for dogs.
¿Lo has entendido, Claudio?
Yes, yes. Very funny. Thank you.
Okay. Let's continue with Dani. Dani Serna. Your question, please.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Chris, in your travel, you was visited much monuments, but what was the monument that you visited that you liked the most?
I think the most spectacular monument was the Royal Palace in Bangkok, because it is just absolutely beautiful.
It's amazing. It is amazing, yeah.
The colours, and it wasn't ruined. Everything else we saw was ruined, but this was perfect, absolutely perfect.
Yeah, stunning. It was absolutely stunning.
And they gave you 3 bottles of water, which was very useful.
Of course. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's continue with Domingo. Domingo, would you like to ask a question to Chris and Carol? Domingo?
Sorry, I don't. No se me ocurre.
You don't have a question.
I don't know who. I don't know who say. I don't know who. I don't know.
Okay, don't worry. Don't worry.
I'm thinking, but it's difficult.
Okay, if you think about any other question, you can tell me, and then later you can ask. Okay, Domingo? Okay, so now Ekaterina. Okay, sigue pensando. Ekaterina.
Me silencio.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me, yeah?
I can, yes. Can you hear us?
If you need to choose one city for live in Asia, what city it was?
If we had to choose a city to live in Asia,
yeah.
Oh, I like Laos.
Yeah. We think we would probably live in Vang Vieng in Laos, because it's beautiful and peaceful, very, very peaceful. And the beer is very good.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, now let's get to Enrique Tafalla. Enrique Tafalla. Okay, you can ask your question in the chat if you want, if you've got your microphone broken. You can write it down in the chat, Enrique. Very quickly. The question is, would you say it is a trouble? Oops, I lost it.
Yeah, the question is, would we say that travel changes you? Yes, it does. It helps you develop as a person. It makes you open-minded about other people. It makes you do lots of things that you wouldn't normally do. Yeah, and very good for a relationship. Yeah. You know, we've been together for 35 years, but still we love every minute. We love every minute of being together.
We just love being together, doing the things, laughing and joking and doing silly things. I would never have thought I would have fell in with an elephant. It was wonderful, thoroughly. If we had the chance, if this is all over and we get the chance, we would love to go off and do more travelling. But the only problem is we wish we were a bit younger, but it's definitely a younger thing to do.
But it helps you understand other cultures. It makes you very tolerant of people and understanding of people, which is something that we need to have. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Enrique, did they answer your question? Yes. Okay. Perfect. David Esteban.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Chris. Sorry for my late. And my question is, how long does it take you to plan the trip to Vietnam?
The plan.
Yeah.
I started planning in October, and we started the journey in January. But I don't know, you can start to plan whenever you want. We use the I don't know if you have them. If you do have the Lonely Planet Journal. It's a very, very good book. It gives you good insight into the country. But even with 3 months planning, I still made lots of mistakes. The next trip that we go on, I will plan in a different way. But you know, if you want to travel in 5 years' time, there's nothing to stop you from planning now.
It's cool. It's normal. Thank you.
Okay, now it's time to turn to Ismael. Ismael Canales, your turn. Can you ask your question?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, you can. Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. I don't know if you said it at the beginning, but I couldn't hear you. But my question is, what was the main purpose of?
The main purpose of the trip, of the journey.
I think so. Yes.
Sorry?
Okay. Ismael, can you repeat your question, please?
Yes. What was the main purpose of the journey?
Yes.
Get away from our naughty children.
To escape our children.
Good idea. Good idea.
We moved to Spain. We moved to Spain to escape the children, which is 1,200 miles, and that didn't work. So we went to Vietnam,
and that didn't work.
We've worked all of our lives. We worked very, very hard, and we had very, very difficult jobs. And in the end, we had enough. So we decided to do the things we did when we were young, and that's
Okay. Thank you. Let's continue. Thank you, Ismael. Let's continue. Javier Garcia. Yes.
In which place have you liked the food the most?
Sorry, could you just repeat that, please?
He said that which country did you enjoy the food the most?
I think it was Thailand. Thailand. The Thai cuisine is very, very good. Very, very good. Very rich.
Okay. Thailand. Okay. Okay. Javier. Juan Mas. Juan?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
What experience did you get from your trip?
I think.
Yes.
Peace. I would say peace and relaxation. Although we were moving all of the time, we felt that we rested within ourselves. You know, the experience, it was an experience just to meet and enjoy other cultures. It just broadens your mind, and that's what we took from that.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Mary Jo, please. Mary Jo, hi. Can you ask your question?
Sorry, but I have computer problems. Anyway, oh, it's gone. Oh, it's gone again. We lost it. We lost it.
We saw most of the questions.
Yeah, they are repeating questions. Sorry for that. But
No, it's okay. We would go back to Bangkok because Bangkok is a very, very sorry. My daughter is taken. She's just burnt it. Bangkok is a very, very exciting city. Very interesting. When you're there, you feel that it's too much, but when you leave, you want to go back again.
okay. Thank you. And now it's turn to Roberto.
I'm so sorry, but I don't have any question right now. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Let's move to Saul.
Right.
Oh, that's very difficult, actually.
Strangest thing we saw on our cycles. Well,
I think it was in Hanoi. Everybody travels on a motorcycle in Hanoi.
Oh, yes.
Thousands and thousands of motorcycles. And they will carry things on a motorcycle. And we saw people carrying boxes that you would normally put in a truck on a motorcycle. So you just look and you see a big pile of boxes going down the road, when in fact it's a motorcycle with a person in the middle and all of the boxes around them. We saw hairdressers in the street with a mirror hanging on a lamppost, cutting people's hair. It's just peculiar things. There are lots of peculiar things. And as my wife said, lots of rats as well.
Lots of rats. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's move to Sergio Mazón. Have you got a question, Sergio?
Yes, I have one.
Okay.
In all countries you have visited, of which where the reception has been better or more peculiar?
The reception was
my favourite place is in Malaysia.
yeah, no, in Ahora. The Thai people are the ones who give you the best reception. They're a very, very friendly race. And we, in one particular hotel, and we didn't stay in expensive hotels. Two ladies treated us as if we were members of their family. Every time we walked out of our room, they give us fruit juice or find things for us and gave us presents when we left. Thailand is the friendliest, definitely. But we had the worst reception in Vietnam. If I can tell you that we had a hotel booked, and the day we arrived, we received an email cancelling the hotel. So we had to quickly find a new hotel. But I was so angry that we walked 6 kilometers to this other hotel to ask them what the problem was, and then walked 6 kilometers back again.
Typical English. Needed the explanations for their faces.
Yeah, so.
And she actually said, we don't want you in our hotel because you are foreigners. You come over on the plane and you bring the disease over. So I looked at her and I said, excuse me, I've been in your country since the 27th of January. I haven't just flown in and got off a plane. I've been here nearly 6 weeks already. So she looked at me and said, well, it was the receptionist that cancelled you. And I said, well, I do feel it should be a management decision, not a receptionist decision. And she said to me, well, I can offer you a room now. I said, no, thank you. You can keep it. And I turned around and we left.
Oh my goodness.
British people would do that. Walk 6 kilometers just to have an argument and walk back again.
38 degrees of heat, but we did find a lovely coffee shop. We had a lovely coffee and the biggest cake you could find. Yes, that was beautiful. It was lovely, all that way.
Okay, Sergio, is it okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now it's Victor's turn.
Yes. Hello, Grace.
Hi.
Was it easy to communicate in these countries?
Was it difficult to communicate? No, not really. Not really. No. I think I don't speak very good Spanish, but I think I can communicate quite well if I'm in a shop or a restaurant. And it was the same in these countries. They speak French in a lot of these countries because they were used to be French colonies. And I can speak better French than I speak anything else. So it was okay. You will manage, don't worry.
Okay, ¿falta alguien para preguntar? ¿Hay alguien que no haya preguntado y le gustaría preguntar? I think everybody asked their questions. ¿Os ha gustado? Did you like it?
Yes,
a lot.
Yes.
A lot.
That's very, very nice to hear them, to hear their experiences, how they lived, how they felt, and I like the things Chris said, that he would advise you to do it now, to travel, to open your minds, to live experiences far away. That is very, very enriching.
Yeah, very enriching. That's the word. That's the word.
So thank you very much to all the students. Thank you very much to Carol and Chris. You are lovely. You are, as always, the best. Thank you very much for your help, for telling your story.
Well, we wish you all well. It's a very, very difficult time for everyone. It's a very difficult time that you can't get out and exercise and have fun. I think everybody needs a haircut. Let's hope it's all over soon, and then we can all get back to our lives. But we wish you well. We wish you well with your studies, and we wish you well with your health. Look after yourself.
The same to you. The same to you. Take care of yourselves, and I hope we will be able to see you very soon.
So too. I hope
okay. So too. Lots of love. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Carol. You know, I love you both. You are excellent people. Thank you very much for everything. And hola. Hello.
This is Olivia. She is 9, going on 90.
Nice. You look 19, Olivia. You look 19. You are a lady.
I'm a child.
Like the mom. Is that your daughter? Hello.
Hello. She's the reason why we moved to Spain.
Oh. Now they will have to move to Spain as well.
Oh, you had to
finally.
and I moved out there as well.
I miss you a lot. Thank you very much for everything. We have to say goodbye to our students. And thank you for everything. And we will be in contact, okay?
Yeah. Isabel, if any of the guys look at the blog and have any questions or they just want to write, to practice their writing skills in English or anything like that, just ask them to do so and we can reply to them and help them along that way.
Okay, in the blog, you mean?
Yeah, or they can just pick up the email address from the blog and write to me and then we can correspond and improve their written English.
Excellent idea. Excellent idea. I'll translate it in Spanish anyway. So, chicos, Chris se está ofreciendo para que le escribáis en su blog. Tenéis su dirección de correo y él se ofrece a que le escribáis y él os corrige vuestros writings. Ya os avanzo que es un gran escritor, escribe muy bien. Y esto es una experiencia y una ocasión única. Yo la cogería. Please, could you write down the name of your blog just in the chat for everybody?
How do I do that? Where do I type?
In the chat.
Just type it now.
In the right corner, on your right hand side, in the corner.
Yes.
There is a box with 2 lines where if you click in there, you can write down.
Right done.
Can you see it?
Right hand side.
There is a box here, and if you click on it, you can write down there.
Does it say open conversation?
Sorry?
Yes. There's
if you click there, you can write.
We're not very good. This is what happens when you get old.
Okay, don't worry. Anyway, I've got your blog direction address, so don't worry. I'll share it to them. No problems.
Sorry.
No problems. No worries. No, nothing. Okay, so thank you. Chicos, yo os pasaré el link del blog para que lo tengáis, ¿vale? Os lo pondré en Moodle para que tengáis el link y podéis contactar con Chris y con Carol cuando gustéis por correo, ¿ok?
Isabel, they need to, when they open the blog, is scroll to the very bottom to get to the beginning.
Okay.
So the last entry is at the top and they have to go to the very bottom of the blog to get to the start.
Justo al final del blog, abajo al final, tenéis su dirección, ¿ok? So, thank you very much. We have another class right now. We have to say then goodbye.
Take care.
Espero que os haya gustado.
Thank you, goodbye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. See ya. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
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 Goodbye, my friend. Goodbye.
Bye.
Hi, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Oh, bless them.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Take care of yourself.
It's been a great experience, Chris and Carol. Thank you very much for everything. I can't see you. Chris, are you in there?
Se ha ido.
No, se han ido ya.
Creo que se acaba de ir.
Se acaba de ir. Bueno, chicos, espero que os haya gustado la experiencia. Ha sido bonito, creo.
Sí.
¿Verdad? Bueno, voy a dejar de grabar.